Hey, my name is Brad, and I'm part of the greatest generation ever. That is Generation X.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Rachel, and I'm part of the best generation ever as a millennial. Yes, best generation ever. Don't even.
Best is okay. Greatest is Gen X, though.
Greatest, best,
You're best,
infinity.
Best at mediocrity.
No.
Correct. Now, so this is our bi-weekly podcast of That's Okay. Because you know what? We're going to talk about all kinds of things. I'm going to step right over whatever she's trying to say because she's a millennial. And, they don't know what they're saying.
See what I have to deal with.
It's nonstop. So, this podcast, we're going to talk about anything and everything. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about current events. This is something we really haven't covered, current events. But you know what? We probably won't agree on things, the way they're happening and rolling out and changing in this ever-changing life that we're in right now, and this cruel trick that 2021 is playing on us. But you know what? That's okay. So hang around, grab something to eat, relax, grab a drink, preferably something delicious.
Maybe, I would hope so.
Maybe something relaxing.
Adult.
If you're an adult. If not, Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But not like the Jonestown kind of Kool-Aid. Just regular Kool-Aid. Sugar-free if you got it. It's better for you.
There you go.
All right. And we'll be back. Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
Did I scare you?
You did. It shocked me a little.
Sorry.
Hey, everybody.
Millennials are a little jumpy.
I'm just a little jumpy. I've had a lot of caffeine. Let me just tell you right now.
I have not had. I had a cup of coffee this morning.
This morning, it's nighttime.
I had water for lunch. I had Sprite with dinner. But there's no caffeine.
Sprite caffeine free?
Yeah, there's no caffeine in Sprite.
I don't know.
And it's currently 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, he's like, I had a cup of coffee at 6 o'clock this morning. And it lasts me the whole day.
Technically, I slept in. It was like
8 o'clock.
So, anyway, so we're going to talk some about current events. Hey, what current event? What's going on right now that everybody's talking about and buzzing about? Anything new and exciting?
No.
Yeah.
Same old, the pandemic.
Oh, pandemic.
Yeah, same old, same thing going on for the past almost a year.
Golly.
That's crazy.
That is, it's too long. Remember when they said just 2 weeks? Remember those days?
Yeah, I do remember.
That was great. Anyway, you know what? But the pandemic has affected us in so many ways. Yeah. I mean, think about it. People are working from home more. People are shopping online more, doing all these great things. And some people just can't handle it.
I mean, I don't know who those people are because, being able to be in your pajamas all day and like lounge around your house, that sounds like the dream. I mean, even if you're working, you're at home. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You can just be at home. That's great.
Yeah, and I love it. You know why? Because I realize the longer this goes on, the less I really like people.
There you go.
And so I much prefer dogs.
But we like y'all.
Well, yeah, sure. Especially if you have a dog.
Yeah, like you even better.
But you know what? It's funny because I've always been the outgoing type. I've always been the social guy. Love to be out visiting with people, having a great time. My wife is very much an introvert. She's, she's doesn't do well in crowds. She's very quiet, it's hard for her to make friends because she's so quiet. And so you would think, okay, this is like the perfect situation for her.
Right.
She doesn't have to go out. She can just stay at home and read books or whatever it is those weird people do and all that stuff. And I was like, this is perfect for her. It's been a complete reversal. I love staying at home. I don't want to go out. I don't need to go anywhere. I don't even want to go to the grocery store. My wife, after about a month, had literally a mental breakdown. It was completely. We needed to pick up her medicine or whatever from the pharmacy. So me thinking she always loves drive-thrus, right? She's always, why don't you just go through the drive-thru? And I'm like, I hate drive-thrus. I hate drive-thrus. Well, with the exception of maybe Chick-fil-A, they got it figured out. And McDonald's, they know drive-thrus, but everybody else is questionable at best.
Because I'm like wait forever.
Well, not
but
even
a
that.
Pharmacy drive-through. I mean,
Oh, then you
really
have to
wait
expect
forever to wait because I mean, come on.
Oh, so I despise going through the drive-through. And so my wife's like, well, I got to pick up this medicine. All right, well, let's go. So I get her out of the house and I'm like pulling into the drive-through. And all of a sudden I can tell she's just upset. I'm like, do we need to go in? I was like, you want to go in? We can go in. Is there something you needed? And, you know, here I thought I was being the nice guy going through the drive-through because she loves them. And she's like, you can't fix this. And she just gets all emotional and cry. Lily breaks down. Apparently she needed or wanted some.
She wants other people to, you know, give her that, you know, conversation than you.
No, she wanted
to see other people.
She wanted shampoo, but she wouldn't tell me that. I was like, she gives me the, you can't fix this. And I was like, well, I could fix that. I could have gone in. We got shampoo. But apparently I was like, okay. So I literally just drove her around for an hour in the car.
She's real outdoorsy though too. She likes to be outside and like, you know, that type of stuff. So I can see her having an issue with being stuck inside all the time.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, maybe it's gonna take those walks or those drives or just sitting outside with your book. I mean, you know, she likes fresh air. I'm sure she gets cramped in the house.
Well, I remember for years, I mean, we've been married a long time, but for the majority of the years up until just recently, she's always been, well, I just want to stay home. Why can't we just stay home? Why do we just have to be going somewhere? I'm like, where did that person go? Man, you lock them down. You know, you never know what's that say? You don't know what you've lost till it's gone kind of thing. You don't know what you have
till it's gone, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you locked her down, all of a sudden she's flourishing.
Well, I mean, hey, that makes sense. I mean, don't you ever want something that you can't have or somebody says you can't have? I mean, as soon as like all the restaurants and stuff close, it's like, man, now I want to go to a restaurant now that it's not available for you. You know what I mean?
My normal life. Just everything I want, can't have it.
I'm just saying.
All the good Pop-Tarts, stop making them.
What? Like what?
Oh my gosh.
The brown sugar ones are good.
Okay, those are good, but nothing compares to the French vanilla Pop-Tarts.
What?
They were amazing.
I've never even heard of that.
I know, because they stopped making them.
French vanilla Pop-Tarts.
So the Pop-Tarts, they were, instead of like the regular, the regular crust, they were like a chocolate crust.
What?
Yeah, and then they had a vanilla.
Oh, like the Oreo ones?
Probably, but better. So they had the vanilla cream in there, and then it had a white frosting on top of it. Unbelievable. They were so good. Stop making them. Story of my life. Marathon bars. We've had this discussion before. Love them. Best candy bar ever made. Stop making them. Tab. They brought it back.
Did they?
Yeah, I just saw one of my friends posted that it's back. Tab's back. I was like, well, that probably didn't need to come back, but that's okay.
Well, didn't you only like it because
your brother nobody else
like
did. So I didn't have to share.
There you go.
That's right.
If you've watched the other episode, you know that.
You know that. But so I think about all the things that have kind of changed. I mean, I remember when this thing when the lockdown happened, and that was March of last year. I saw a ton of people out walking.
Yes.
All of a sudden, neighbors are out walking in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
they didn't care. They were just out walking their dogs.
I'd look out my window. There'd just be people walking down the middle of the street because there was nobody out. That was just your
neighborhood. Those are some scary people. But I'm talking about legitimate people out walking. We have these little walking trails and paths by the house. They have people out walking on them all of a sudden. You know, it was like every day. It's like they didn't. Well, I guess you lock down. You're like, well, I got to get outside. I got to do something.
Yeah, because at the beginning, a lot of people's jobs were, you know, in hiatus.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't have anything to do. So might as well go outside.
I already worked from home, so it really didn't change much for me.
Yeah,
it's the same. I could still doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It did change for my wife. She could have worked from home for the past couple of years. She just doesn't, because she's always traveling. She just always has to be doing something. And so that probably led to it is all of a sudden she started working from home.
Yeah, and it's a big change. Instead of gradually getting into working from home, it was like, all right, now you're doing it.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, that was fun to see. A lot of neighbors and stuff out walking the dogs and people, it was kind of a return to, it reminded me of Mayberry, from.
when all this stuff happened, I just kept thinking, I was like, man, my dog is loving it because we're all home. We're all home with the dog all day long. I could just imagine everybody's pets just so excited because their people aren't leaving every day.
Yeah.
So they get to see their people all day long,
They're
man.
hanging out with the people they love.
Oh,
all day.
All day. And what's wrong with that? Snuggling with your dog all day?
Although I have to
I'm
admit,
literally wearing a weenie dog shirt right now. My dog is a weenie dog.
Not a weenie dog.
Oh, he is. You're going to say he's like a bratwurst,
He is
aren't
a
you?
bratwurst. He's really
He's a
big.
chunk, but he's cute.
Anyway, but yeah, and you know what? I would have thought that would have been the same with Lucy, but I don't think she cared either way.
No.
She still
she's very
didn't get
much
out of her
like,
bed.
this is my house.
Yeah.
I don't even. She's almost like a cat in that
She
way.
kind of is a cat in that way, which is
Hmm.
weird. But yeah, but that was
Dog time.
that was one of the better things that happened.
Mhm.
That kind of happened with this pandemic.
People appreciated, nature and, that type of stuff around them more, I think. Like
Right.
people had time to stop and literally smell the roses, I guess. They could
Yeah,
look
you were
around
forced
and be
to.
like, Exactly. And I feel like with that, a lot of people reevaluated their life and figured out, what was important. And, a big thing is exercise. Like all of a sudden people
Yep.
are getting into a lot more health kicks and stuff like that because they're home and they're cooking because a lot of the restaurants were closed. So they're, finding new hobbies and just all kinds of stuff. It was a really, at least for the first bit of the pandemic before work started picking back up, I feel like people really just kind of had some time to themselves to grow as people, maybe.
Yeah, I like what you said. Reevaluate your life.
Mhm.
I know I do that daily and wonder where I went wrong.
Oh my gosh.
But maybe my outlook's a little different.
It's because you work from home and you're home all the time.
Already
That's
home.
what happens because he's not going out and seeing anybody.
Very
He's a
grumpy.
little hermit crab
I
that
like it.
now he's just like
Just leave me alone. Let me do my thing.
all
Yeah.
cranky all the time.
It's funny you brought up cooking and that sort of
Mhm.
stuff. That was one of the cool things. On social media, all of a sudden, you see people baking bread. I don't know, baking bread became really big all of a sudden.
Gosh.
And-
I could not find yeast or self-rising flour in the store for months.
Yeah.
Months. Because people were just making their own stuff. And I don't think it was like oh my gosh, the world is ending and I have to do
No.
all this. I think people were just having fun because that's what I want to do. I was like, oh, look at these recipes. And I couldn't find yeast. Couldn't
Yeah,
find
I think it was the fact
anything.
that they're like, well, I don't have anything else to do now. I have time to do this.
Always the flour, the sugar, all that stuff was gone
Really?
for a long time. Because I looked. It was always gone.
Yeah, a lot of people making bread, cupcakes, and stuff like
delicious.
that. Maybe very.
So some
jealous.
people were exercising and getting on health kicks, and the other people were baking bread and eating cupcakes all day.
That sounds
Woo.
pretty good.
Yes, it
I mean,
does.
if I had to choose which one,
I mean,
right before we filmed this, I was about to head out for a run. Then I realized.
were you really?
Yeah. Then I realized I don't run. So
Just
I'd
a
just go
brisk
ahead and film
walk
this.
to the cookie store.
but yeah. So people cooking more,
Mhm.
exercise. And if something that's been kind of popular lately is the VR exercising, especially with the like Oculus Quest,
Mhm.
which is wireless now. It's all in one. There's these great VR exercise programs. There was a guy
Ah.
who did like a 90-day thing, and I don't know how
Like
much he lost.
P90X type thing.
Yeah, well, but yeah, he had a certain thing. He did it for
That's
90 days, and he
cool.
tracked how much he lost and all that sort of stuff. And I was like,
That's
pretty
wild.
cool.
See, that would be fun. I mean, you can always follow the videos and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but an immersive experience,
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
yeah.
I dig
Maybe
it.
I'll give that a try.
I dig it. That'd be fun.
Because I'm not one of those people. People love to run, and I'm like, why? It just hurts.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
I guess it's what they call those endorphins or something like
Like
you
a
get this.
runner's high.
Yeah, I don't get any of that.
Well,
I
it's
get a
after so
runner's
long.
wheeze.
It's not. It's not.
My side
It's
hurts.
not like immediate. It's like after a long, after you've been running a while, I guess. But yeah, no.
Yeah, those people are weird.
I don't like to do that type of stuff. I'll do like the dance type of workouts, and
Yeah,
I know I'll do that with Michelle and stuff too.
hip
but-
hop abs.
Yeah, well, we watch a lot of those like YouTube videos, the dance ones. Those ones are fun.
Mm.
Or I have like ballet ones that I mean, it's low impact stuff, but you feel the burn. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
those are fun. I do the ballet one.
Yeah, no,
Could you see him doing a ballet workout?
because I'm so graceful.
There you go.
But yeah, so a lot of people doing the exercising,
Gardening too.
gardening.
I learned that I can kill all kinds of plants.
Ooh.
That's cool. But I did okay with squash and zucchini. But and they got big, but all my eggplants were white and didn't turn purple. They were literally little eggs. They weren't good.
Didn't work out for you.
My big boy tomatoes that were supposed to be this big were actually this big, size of a pea. So that's always nice.
I always wondered that. We always plant tomatoes, and we end up with cherry tomatoes. And I'm like,
I know
what? It's like somebody switching these seeds.
And y'all plant them in the ground too, right?
Yeah.
Because I planted mine in a pots, and I figured, of course they'd be small in a pots, but y'all always do yours on the ground.
They always come out like
I don't
cherry.
know, but I got
They're tasty.
zucchinis and squash, and we
had a lot of zucchini and squash and
Yeah.
peppers. I had a lot of red peppers.
I saw that. I was jealous. I only
Yeah.
had like 1 or 2 little bell peppers, and they were small. But
You know what? The pandemic also gave us time to maybe do a little home remodel.
yes, it did. And I thought it was funny because, everybody was at home. So they, were seeing everything that was wrong with their house and had the
Right.
time to do it. And, with their little stimulus check, if they, had a little bit left over, use that. Because we went to Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff like that when there were lines out the door because everyone was going in. People walking out with lumber and gardening stuff and all kinds of stuff. Everybody was doing stuff to their house. I mean, it was almost like go around for bulk pickup during the pandemic, and it was just all kinds of stuff that people were fixing in their house just on the curb.
Yep, that happened to us.
It's
We
crazy.
started. We had a water leak in behind the tile in our tub, so we had to replace all the wood flooring in our house, carpet in the
That's
living
right.
room, all that sort of stuff. All that happened, and we finally got everything, quotes and everything, and started the actual remodel like March 7th. And then on March 15th, they shut everything down, and we're
man.
like, oh, goodness. So, yeah, I mean, I was at Home Depot every day of this pandemic.
It seems like I'm sure.
There's no doubt I was. At least through April, almost to May.
Oh yeah.
I was there every single day because I was supplying all the supplies,
Mhm.
and I was just paying for labor for somebody to come in and do all the
Yeah.
work. So, but when you're doing something like that and they lock everything down, essentially I had just one guy
Oh yeah.
that did it all. So, it wasn't a quick process.
But you had the time.
Yeah.
But man.
Well, I was still working, so it didn't really matter. It was the same for me, but so home remodels, you see a lot of that.
Mhm.
I wrote a few things down. Actually covered a lot of it. Zoom. We learned about Zoom.
Yeah. That blew up real quick. I feel like a lot of it though was with schools because a lot
Right.
of schools were doing Zoom or Google Classroom
Right.
for their tools, and then because they had to figure something out.
Well, my company we use its own software or whatever, but
Yeah, we use WebEx.
but Zoom, we were, connecting like on a Friday night with friends and playing games.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because all of a sudden you could play, what's that one game? Cards Without Humanity, or Cards
Cards Against
Humanity, whatever it is. And
That's fun.
You could play that online with like 3 or 4
Yeah,
different
I heard
couples
y'all
on
did that.
Zoom.
That's cool. That's a good way to keep in touch because I know a lot of people were really struggling not
Right.
being able to see other people and stuff like that, especially people that lived alone or didn't really have like a lot of family or whatever it was. Like super extroverted people, I'm sure, were just like
Yeah.
strangled by this pandemic.
It hit
So
my
still-
parents really
yeah,
hard.
Yeah.
And so I bought one of those little what are they, Fire? Their Alexa shows,
Yeah.
or Echo Show or
Mhm.
whatever. And so that was cool because I bought one for them, and then we
Mhm.
had one, so I could drop in, and
Yeah.
we'd
so
get
you
to
can
see each
keep
other
in
and talk.
touch.
And
that's good. And I feel like if this, pandemic had happened, even 20 years earlier or 30 years earlier or however it was, like, could you imagine what it would have done to people that couldn't have that same sort of visual communication through Zoom and all that?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
Yep.
crazy to think of. That's a good thing about, it happening now because there's all these resources that, people are still able to keep their sanity and then see people and have that
Maybe.
social stuff, even through Zoom.
Yeah. I'll put online shopping. I already did that, so that wasn't a big difference to me
Right.
either. But a lot of people, yeah, as far as like grocery pickup and stuff like that, that got
Yes.
crazy. Now I still don't really do grocery pickup, but
No.
I know I thought when this first started, I thought, well, maybe I should do something, And I went on to like Walmart or whatever. You couldn't even schedule a time.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Fact.
it would just say, yeah, there's nothing available for like the next week.
Mhm.
You're like, okay, well, I guess
Yeah.
I'm going to Walmart, and that was fine too. But,
Yeah, that stuff skyrocketed. And then like calling restaurants and coming by and like picking
Oh,
up and
yeah.
stuff. That's
well,
crazy
that's
too,
one
and just
major
to-
thing it changed is
Mhm.
the alcohol laws. As far as being
Really?
able, well, yeah, like the restaurants, all of a sudden they could sell alcohol kits to go. Your
That's fair.
margaritas, you could go down and pick up your fajitas and margaritas and take it all home.
I mean, I would think that I would think that you would have to put it in your trunk though. I mean, you could still get pulled over.
No, it follows the same rules. Like now, Louisiana's been doing this for everywhere. Louisiana, if you get pulled over for drinking and driving, you'd better been drinking. Otherwise, they're going to take you to jail. But yeah, it's like completely reversed in Louisiana.
What?
Anyway, but they had that was the first place I ever saw a drive-through daiquiri shop. I was like, well, how is they getting away with this?
For
And all
your
the-
passengers?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you go through, and what they do is they serve it to you in your styrofoam cup with a lid on it, and they tape the lid closed.
Ah.
And I guess as long as that lid is taped, they're off
But I
the
mean,
hook
you
and
could
not
just
responsible.
peel the tape off and take a big old
Mm.
gulp and tape it back down.
People wouldn't do that, would they?
Yes. People are mischievous.
Strange. I would never think
They
to do
would
that.
never.
But yeah, that's crazy.
How wild.
But yeah, that changed. So yeah, you could pick up drinks from a restaurant and take them
Mm.
home.
And stuff like that, I really feel, and like Zoom and talking to your friends and like picking up alcohol and food, I feel like that's something that's just going to carry on post pandemic. That,
Right.
and like picking up your grocery shopping and stuff like that, I really feel like that's not something that would go back to normal per se. I feel like, sure, people would go to restaurants and it would be open like it was before, but they would have significantly more pickup business and stuff
Right.
like that than they had ever in the past. Just, convenience wise or whatever it may be. I feel like that's something that's gonna forever be changed. And a lot of this stuff is just
Right.
forever changed or gonna be completely, different than we ever thought it could be.
That was one of the other things I was thinking about is things that may not go back to normal.
Mhm.
Things that this is literally changed forever. And one of the things that came to mind was like movies.
Mm-hmm.
I know they hope they come back, and they're kind of back in limited, but it's all limited.
Yeah.
Everything is limited, right? It's not like you're going to have a packed movie house anymore.
Right.
And I'm like, I wonder how that's really going to affect. And you've got companies like, is it Time Warner or I don't know?
Well, I know like Warner Brothers are
Warner
doing
Brothers, that's what I'm
like a double release on HBO Max.
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, where they'll
For like a
release to the
month.
theater and then they
Mhm.
release at home too. And I'm like, okay, well, that's definitely going to change. things.
As if it's like a subscription service like HBO, like for sure I could see where the benefit there is. But I feel like, I don't think movies are going to be packed like they were, but a lot of people go to the movies, they still have streaming services and they still could rent the movies at home, but they go to the movie theater for the experience.
Right.
For that sense of community and to be at the movies. We went to the movies all the time, even though we had, a room at home just for movies.
Right.
But we would still go to the theater because that's something that we enjoyed doing for that experience.
That was another thing I wondered during this pandemic with people being locked down. Do you think they took time to think, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll get a bigger TV, or maybe I'll get a projector and make my own little movie room kind of thing. Wonder how many people jumped onto that.
Oh, I'm sure a lot.
And with the prices of projectors and stuff like that, it's fairly affordable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not super expensive. Especially considering if you went to the movies often and,
Right.
spend a lot of money on stuff like that. Probably getting out way cheaper
In
than
the long
going.
run, sure.
Yeah. But
So
I mean,
movies will be one I think we'll follow and see kind of what happens with
yeah,
that.
I thought about maybe if it was going to be like some movie theaters doing a little bit of remodeling and taking a few of their theaters and making some sort of like live venue type of thing.
Yeah.
And doing, making a stage in parts of it. It's like, so they could show movies in some, and then some they could have like events and stuff like that. And I wondered if that was a way for maybe, because I mean, what's going to happen to these theaters? I mean, if movies don't go back to normal, I mean, they're still there. I mean, they're just going to close down. I mean, how many old movie theaters are in our town are cropping up as becoming live venues? I mean, so many.
Yeah.
I mean, Haltom City, there's the ISIS downtown. I mean, all kinds of stuff is really.
Maybe so. That was something else I put down was concerts,
Mm-hmm. But I mean, not even concerts. I mean, you could do some sort of like, lecture series or whatever it is. I mean, literally anything, just something that makes these movie theaters money versus
anything they could rent out.
Exactly. I mean, they already rent the movie theaters now for private parties.
Right.
So, I mean, you could rent out a whole theater for just you and a few friends.
Well, they offer that $99. Isn't that what?
I mean, they got to do something.
Studio Movie Grill or one of those.
But
yeah, concerts. That was an interesting one because, that is I mean, that's where musicians make their money is their live shows, right? So, how is that going to affect them if, you're limited capacity? You can't sell out a 70,000 seat auditorium anymore, or stadium.
Concerts are different than movies. I mean, movies, you're sitting in your seat. You're not getting up and doing stuff.
Right.
You're sitting there in the movies. I mean, when you're at a concert, you're up, you're, woo.
Mosh pits. What's going to happen to a mosh pit?
Getting on with your friends or going down to get a drink and, having a good old time. But, so people are going to have to cross paths a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? Like, assign them seats and make them stay there? Like,
no.
Silly.
Well, it depends.
I mean, at concerts, it's like a big thing. Like,
if you're in California, you'll just be locked down to your seat.
Just buckle in.
Probably.
Cover you in caution tape.
Those people are crazy. But unless you live there, and then, hey, we love you.
I mean, people do
not here.
Virtual concerts and stuff like that, but
correct. That was
you have
something
to
else.
pay for.
Yeah. I saw a couple bands that did virtual concerts. Joe Bonamassa is a great blues guitarist. He did a full show and sold tickets and everything. And I mean,
I guess,
actually, and that was a lot cheaper than going to one of his concerts. So, his tickets are $150. They're not cheap. Mm. And so if I could spend $20 and come in and watch it on my big screen at home.
Because you're probably paying for the venue too. Like you're not just paying. Yeah.
So yeah, well, that'll be another one we'll kind of track. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you something that I don't know that will come back. At least I don't think it's going to come back in the form that we know it.
Okay.
Today. Buffets.
Ugh.
Not that we may not want them to come back, to be honest with you.
I mean,
but buffets, I think, are going to be a thing of the past. I think if they do have buffets going forward, you won't be serving it yourself.
I was thinking that if it would be like a serving line, like a Denny's or whatever it is, or however
cafeteria of some sort.
Which
are we going to miss buffets?
Whatever.
I don't know.
But I mean, right now, you have to I would think you're wearing your mask when you're, getting up, and I feel like that's better than a sneeze guard. I mean, before, you just have a little piece of plexiglass or whatever it is to make sure that people aren't hawking loogies in the food or anything. But now people have a face mask, so it's like I feel like it'd be a lot more controlled. But it's just, everybody sticking their hand in the, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we going to miss buffets?
I mean, there's already been a few buffets that have closed since it started. Like big name chains too.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't
think they're going to reopen. At least not in the
form I don't think so. Yeah, I definitely think the cafeteria style maybe if it comes back. I mean, there's a lot of Asian buffets and stuff around here. So I feel like maybe it would be like that cafeteria style. Because
yeah,
if the ones that were they're super bustling before the pandemic,
strong people. They already know
Yeah.
You know, they're used to that, right? Don't they all wear masks in like Asia?
I guess. Which
Already.
leads to another. Is that going to be like when
that'll be
people are
us.
sick? They're always, because that's what they do in a lot of, like Asian countries. When they're sick,
Yeah.
they wear masks. And I mean, that's a great idea. Is that how we're going to be? If you look,
Depends on the person.
20 years from now, are people like when they're not feeling good wearing masks?
I don't know. Those,
I mean, already-
I guarantee you the same stubborn people that go to work when they're sick now are not going to be wearing masks.
Well, I mean-
I'm not sick.
Well, a lot of like immunocompromised people wear masks in general when they're out in public pre-pandemic. So I wonder if it's going to be more, more people that are doing that. Like maybe I don't know. I don't know.
All I know is the buffets don't bother me that much because I don't want anybody touching all my mediocre food anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most of it's mediocre.
Do you know what you're saying?
Sports,
Mm-hmm.
like concerts, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we've seen it with like the NFL. They were playing originally in stadiums that were empty and piped in crowd noises, which is really strange.
So, yeah.
And then they started opening it up to, limited
A little bit, yeah.
people to be there. And I mean, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends. I mean, I feel like, if maybe once cases drop to, next to nothing and, a significant amount of the population's vaccinated, I feel like a lot of that type of stuff will go back to normal-ish movies, concerts, sports. But until then, I mean, assuming that even happens where the cases drop so low and I don't know. I feel like it's going to end up being like how we have flu season now. It's like COVID season and stuff like that. So
hey, if you look at the flu numbers this year, it's great. We almost got rid of the flu.
Oh, because everyone has COVID
Everybody
instead.
has COVID. So that's gone.
But
I
I
the
feel
flu's
like
gone.
once it gets to, later on, I feel like some of this stuff will go back to normal. I don't know how. I feel like they'll offer, back to full capacity and it'll get to that point. But I don't know how long it will take people to be comfortable going.
Some people will never be comfortable.
Exactly. So it'll get to a point where, it's back to normal full capacity, but I don't know if they'll ever reach that full capacity number at least within the next few years.
And you think about that, especially when you've got a 50,000 seat stadium that you can only put 10,000 people in.
Right?
I mean,
imagine
you're not gonna be able
AT&T
to
Stadium.
make
How
any money.
much money are they hemorrhaging in that place? Because it's
Scary.
huge, and they just people. I saw, it was the figure skating. They were doing the, I guess, qualifications for the Olympics or whatever it was. And it was so funny because the crowd that they had cardboard cutouts of people and their pets. And I was like, there was like a cardboard cutout of dogs in there. It was so
awesome.
cute. And I was like, oh yeah, this is great because I like to watch the figure skating, but I kept getting distracted by these cutouts of people with these weird faces. And
I just found our thumbnail.
Oh
for this
no! But it
Gotcha.
was so funny, and they were big too. Like it wasn't a normal crowd where you just kind of see a small amount of their face. It was like up close and personal.
That's
it was
funny.
great. I loved it.
Man, think about how this is going to affect the kiss cam.
We are gonna do that.
There's a bunch of cardboard people
It's
up
gonna
there.
just be some guy like putting the cardboards together.
It's really going to devastate the whole kiss cam market.
That's so funny.
Travel.
Mhm.
That's another one. Air travel.
Air
you gotta
travel.
wear. Yeah, I mean, you're in a confined tube.
I could not. I already get claustrophobic and I don't enjoy flying at all. If I have to have a show or something that I can continuously focus on because I just get so on a plane. If I had to wear a mask on top of that, I would be like having a panic attack.
It would need to be a
It'd be
shorter flight
horrible.
for me.
I couldn't. I would have
What if
to.
you got those shields? You've seen the people walk around with the shields?
That would
That'd be better.
okay.
That's better for people with glasses. You don't really fog up as much.
But I don't feel like those shields do anything
They're
at
a
all.
sneeze guard right in front of your face.
Exactly. Like there's literally so much open space. Like it's hanging off your face like this much. What is that? How is that helpful at all? Like if you're wearing that and a mask, A+. But just wearing that's not helpful. How? I mean, I guess the main thing is like the droplets and stuff when you're talking to people. Or
it's really funny when you sneeze.
Ew.
Just,
So
and there was your
disgusting
towel.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could maybe do that, but I just feel like I'd be more likely to get sick
Yeah.
wearing those things. But I don't know, to each their own. But
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't plan on flying until, I get anxiety medication, maybe.
I'm down.
My health.
I'm fine with it. I mean, I got a lot
Well,
of
yeah.
friends. I got a lot of friends online that are scared to death, I guess, of this. And I get it. It definitely is, could be an issue with somebody with
Scary.
compromised, immune systems and things like that. But, I can't live in fear,
Yeah, no, me either.
I would have never ridden down that hill when I was, 13 in a washing machine rack, homemade cart. If I lived in fear.
Yeah. Daredevil over
It had
here.
no effect on me either.
But I
Perfectly fine.
agree with you. I mean,
I think
Man,
this
what
is
are we
one
gonna
of those
do,
things.
crawl in a
Everybody's going
hole?
to get it. And
if they haven't already.
We got vaccines. Great.
Mhm.
Take a vaccine if you're really
I
worried
guess
about
what
it. But I'm
people are
like you. I think it's going to be like a
scared
flu season.
is like, you don't know how hard it's going to hit you.
No, you don't.
Because some people just have, lose their taste, like lose their sense of smell or their sense of taste or whatever it is. And other people are dying. I mean, it's so, I think that's where a lot of the fear comes from, is because if you get it, you don't know how hard it's going to hit you or, any variation like that. So I think people are scared of the unknown. Because, I mean, you could be like, all right, COVID's hitting and these are what I'm going to have. But instead it's, it's
Listen.
so the spectrum is so far, it's freaking
I'm just going to
people
lay
out.
it out here for everybody. In case I don't want to be startling anybody with this amazing, scary news.
Oh.
None of us are getting out of this alive. And if it's your
Oh,
time,
yeah. We
it's
all
your
gotta go
time.
sometime.
You know what? Whether it's
I
COVID,
mean-
whether it's a bus, it doesn't matter.
And
We
I agree.
don't set the time. It's going to happen regardless. So, you know what? I wear a mask when I go out,
Me too,
but I
yeah.
do it strictly, to be respectful of others.
Mm-hmm.
If we weren't where I would never wear a mask. I don't need to wear a mask. I'll
Mhm.
take my chances, but I will wear a mask out of respect for others.
For sure.
I'm not gonna live in fear of this thing. I'm
there.
gonna enjoy life, get out there and do some stuff, and
I agree.
whatever happens.
I agree.
You know, I've been here 50 years. That's long enough, really.
Yeah. It is.
It
Get out of
is.
here. Just
It
kidding.
is. I'm already cranky at 50. Can you imagine if I'm here another 10 years? How cranky I'm gonna be?
Man, it's gonna be
Oh.
fun.
Whew.
He's gonna be that person at family reunions that's gonna, like that old person that's just gonna be sitting there, but I hate y'all all. That was so stupid.
I'm already
Wish
that
y'all got
person.
him. But out loud,
Oh, yeah.
not just
That's
silently
just in my
thinking.
head right
You're
now.
gonna be the one that all the kids are gonna go to and be like, "Crazy Uncle Brad."
Uncle Brad.
Here he is, just spitting all kinds of nonsense.
That'll be me.
And it'll be great.
Yeah.
I'll love it. Telling it like it is.
I wonder if this, don't want to get into conspiracy theories,
Whoa.
but
Whoa.
man, if this was a master plan and 2020 was the year, what would I have done different had I known that that's whenever the New World Order or whatever they call these people that are going to, kill the monetary system and go to a one world religion and money and all that sort of stuff and basically make us slaves. What would I have done different?
Save more money. Learn more
Yeah.
skills. That's
I
what I
would
would
have.
have.
Yeah, I would
I
have
would've
liked to have
learned
learned more. Regular sustainable skills. you know?
That's what I mean. Like learn that and save more money. That's definitely what I would have done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I would have bought a lot of jars and just stuffed cash in them, buried them all around the yard.
That's an old person thing to do. That's so.
Yeah.
That's stuff you hear like my grandmama did that in the Great Depression. She always had stuff buried in the yard. Anytime we needed money, she just go and dig a hole.
And they devalue that dollar,
Oh,
and all
man.
your money's sitting in the bank, and all of a sudden it's worth nothing because you can't
Yeah.
get to it. I'll have my jars.
There you go.
I don't really have jars in my yard. Don't come dig up my yard.
Yeah, there's no jars.
I don't have any money, so there's obviously no jars in my yard.
Yeah, because it didn't save money. I didn't.
I'm actually the one out metal detecting my own yard, just trying to find my pocket change I lost in 1972. That's all I got.
Oh man,
Digging through the couch cushions. But you never know.
that's an idea. Hey,
So how has this whole pandemic changed how you live? How does it change your day-to-day life? I'd be interested.
yeah, tell us.
So something else this
yeah, we
pandemic
just.
something else the pandemic has
Mhm.
brought out, I was reading. Smoking's making a comeback.
Is it?
Yes.
Because it reduces stress and anxiety, maybe? And I mean, how many times are people like, oh, I'm too worked up. I need to smoke. I mean, maybe.
I don't smoke,
I don't either.
but I have had the desire recently to have a good cigar. And I did.
Did
And it
you?
was wonderful.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is it relaxing?
It is very relaxing, yes.
So maybe that's what it is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like when people are in hard times, the amount of alcohol sales and cigarette sales tend to go
Mhm.
up. I mean,
And
because
when people are in-
drowning their sorrows. You should have seen
We're gonna-
Total Wine.
we're
It was
gonna
packed.
step back into Economy 101. If you never want to be poor and you want to open a business you know is going to succeed
Mhm.
and you're going to make tons of money, if we can, I'm sure there's laws that you can't do this, but if we can figure out a way around it, if I could open a liquor/pharmacy store,
That sounds
would be amazing. Foolproof. When people are happy,
Foolproof.
they drink. When people are sad, they drink.
you're not lying. But
And
pharmacy too.
everybody needs the drugs.
I mean, hey, nothing like mixing your medication with
Because-
liquor.
Think about it. The pharmacy, you can't go wrong because all these people coming up in the world today, all the kids of today are taught that, oh, I have this problem. I'll just get a medication for it. Oh, I can't concentrate. I'm going to get a medication for it. So you're never going to go bad there either. We're bringing up a whole generation that feel like they need some sort of drug to be normal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So liquor/pharmacy. There you go. If you can figure it out, hit me up.
I mean,
Let me know.
that sounds
partner.
like
I'll make it
somewhere
happen.
that's gonna be rated all the time. It really does. Feels like you're gonna
I won't
constantly
care.
have to deal
I'll
with
have
cops.
so much money.
So and so got into a 3-car pileup after they came to your liquor pharmacy store.
Hey,
Thank God.
they didn't do it on my property.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but you sold them all of these things,
Hey,
and how?
it's completely
I
illegal
mean,
to sell it.
It just sounds like
I'll put a piece of
nightmare.
tape over it.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm telling you, hit me up. I'm a partner in that
Ugh.
venture. Let's do it.
That
Get rid of this podcast.
I just
Let's open
feel
our liquor
like
pharmacy store.
it's gonna be, you're constantly being raided. It's gonna be all these issues. There's gonna be people tweaking in the parking lot.
I'll have so
There's
much
gonna be
money.
people passed
won't
out
matter.
in their own vomit.
I'll
on the
be living in
sidewalk.
my house
What
on the
is
hill,
this?
and I'll have so much money I can pay people to run it for $15 an hour.
Oh,
Win-win.
oh my gosh.
Win-win.
It's gonna be, I mean, I guess, places like Walgreens and CVS, you can buy like wine and stuff.
Sure.
And it's a pharmacy.
But
I
I
guess
want a
I'm
full-on liquor store.
I see that.
Not just wine. That's for amateurs.
I mean, don't they in other states do that? Like, can't you, like in other states, you can buy liquor at like the grocery stores and stuff, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure
I
they
mean,
got
you
a
don't
pharmacy.
know.
I don't know. I don't
You
go.
can in Vegas.
Well, Vegas is Vegas.
I mean, I want to say like,
yeah, I
all
think
of
they are
Nevada.
pharmacy liquor stores there,
I don't know
Well,
about
it's like a
pharmacy, liquor, but
Walgreens.
it's like, yeah, like Kroger,
which
or
is a
whatever it
pharmacy. They have a pharmacy in it. But I don't want to be a grocery store.
Yeah, but like Walgreens and CVS, that's almost grocery
I
store.
want to be a high-end liquor store.
High
maybe
end.
high.
I wanna
maybe
have
cigar
my
humidor, a big humidor in there.
and liquor pharmacy store in Beverly Hills.
We'll have liquor and drug pairings. Like if you're gonna get this, this goes well with this.
You know, you need some rum and some nice cough syrup together.
It's good. We'll offer pairings.
Sudafed and vodka.
We'll do flights. Flights. So you choose your medication.
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah, that'll be great.
So terrible. Phew.
Thursdays will be ladies' night. Nickel any sort of upper.
Oh gosh, that's
nickel uppers on
there you go.
Side.
Woo! Oh gosh,
it's gonna be amazing.
It's okay. I mean, I see your viewpoint, and I'm
Maybe
like,
we've gotten
ooh,
off track again.
CDs off track. Yeah,
I have
we went
genius
from
ideas.
pandemic to
Well, this ties into the pandemic. You would be a hit.
oh
store.
man.
Smoking is going up. Drug use has gone up, right? Unfortunately.
I mean, I'm
But
sure.
drug use has got, so I'm
Because
just saying
that's
it's
what
all
happens.
part of it.
I mean, you know, when drown your sorrows, you know, these things happen, I guess. But I feel like drugs and cigarettes and alcohol, that's an expensive problem to have. That's expensive. I mean,
That's
if you're
why I'm going to make so much money.
if you're already like concerned and having trouble making ends meet, why would you smoke or drink or do drugs? I mean, that's just like a black hole for your money. You're just throwing it away, burning it, whatever. I'm just like, man, like if you're already struggling, why not, you know, use it?
I've never figured that out either, but I do
don't
see that the
understand.
majority of the time.
But I guess if you have like an addictive personality, I mean, maybe you just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't understand it either.
It's expensive.
Yeah, cigarettes are super expensive.
Oh my
And yet I'll
gosh.
see people,
Packs a day. I don't
and
understand.
they look homeless. But they're like smoking it, and I'm like, why don't you take
It's
that
so expensive.
$7 and go?
I know. And
Use
if
it
you're
for-
if you're smoking like a pack or two a day,
Oh,
and I mean, that's so much money. That's like a car note worth of cigarettes.
that's a lot of money.
That's so much. I don't
can't
get
afford
it.
cigarettes, that's
I'm
why I
like,
don't
I'm like,
smoke.
man, that's a rich person habit to have. Like
Yeah.
it seems like
Yeah, I can't
it's
afford it.
expensive. Even just drinking, like if you drink all the
Cigarettes are
time,
expensive.
I'm like, dang.
Yeah, that's why I drink at home. I can't
No,
afford to go
no,
out to
even
a bar.
like if you're drinking, like you get, you know, it's like there are people who drink a case of beer a week easy.
No,
Like that's a lot of
that's a
money
lot of
too.
beer.
It's a well, you know, people got problems out there.
It's a
But,
lot.
but
Depends
that's a
on
lot
the
of
beer.
money. I'm like, where are these people getting money?
If you go down and you buy
Like,
Big
dang, what are they
Flats.
doing? I didn't do that.
Big Flats lager at Walgreens, it's literally
See, I
it's
was
like
thinking just
it's like $2.50 a 6-pack. It's not
just
expensive.
go get a few things, MD 2020, and
Yeah,
maybe
you're
a
fine.
Steel Reserve or one of those. Get a 40th Steel Reserve.
Oof, yeah.
Oh
What was the one with the
man.
bull on it? That was always one of my favorites.
Oh, that
I can't remember now.
too funny.
Nothing
But
says
yeah,
let's drink a beer like being chased by a bull.
though, beer on the run.
Never understood that beer.
Oh man,
Yeah. So yeah.
that's just.
But
I don't know. I don't know,
so
man.
Those sorts of things.
I wish
have
I was
changed.
rich enough to have problems like that.
Mm,
I mean, not really though. But you know,
I tried. I'd be
Money
that
to
rich, but I
burn.
still wouldn't have the problems.
I know me either.
'Cause I
Like,
still
wish I
have
had the
no
money to
desire to
burn
smoke a
on those
cigarette.
things. Yeah, me either.
Mm,
Mm,
no, well.
well,
Well, listen.
whatever. Have you
This
made it down
is,
this train track in many directions?
We've chased a lot of rabbits.
We have.
Is that a term you've heard before?
Yes.
Okay. That's just checking.
Yes, it is.
Chased a lot of rabbits.
Man.
What's another one like that?
I don't know.
There's a lot of them. I can't think of any of them right now. So, if you made it this far, let us know how the pandemic has changed your day-to-day life.
Mm. And if
Uh,
anything we said was controversial and you hated it,
Yeah, if you hate it or hate us, let
like
us
it,
know.
like us, and
Yeah,
if you hated this,
make sure you give us a thumbs up so you can angrily thumbs down us later.
there you go.
If we haven't
you need that
offended you yet,
satisfaction of
give it some time.
disliking, you know. But you gotta, you know, whatever.
Anyway, thanks for joining us for the That's Okay podcast.
Current events episode.
Current events, episode
And
1.
rambling and venting, maybe?
There was some venting in there.
A little bit. I mean, I'm sure we got loud at some point.
I'm sure I'm going to crop that out. So if you wonder what I said, why I'm saying we were venting,
bonus footage.
Don't worry about it. That'll show up on the Patreon channel.
I was just thinking that.
You'll have to pay to be offended.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
how
it'd be
that'll
great.
work.
It'd be great.
You want to see the real behind the scenes stuff. That's where you're going to want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks for joining us. And then what are we going to cover next time? What are we going to talk about?
I don't know, man.
You know, we have some more topic. Let us know, because you know what? Here's a couple things I've wanted to talk about. Let us know if any of this interests you. Roller derby.
Hey.
Has anybody heard of roller derby?
Yeah.
Anybody?
I feel like it's mainstreamish.
Kind
I
of.
remember, I mean, you know, there's a lot of television shows that have like roller derby episodes, or like roller derby movie. Was that Whip It?
Whip It, yeah.
I mean, I feel like it had a big
But
resurgence.
it always is, well, it's portrayed like it is. It's kind of I don't know, a subculture kind of sport thing. But I was very involved with it for 10 years. My wife and I were, so maybe we discuss something like that. Another thing that interests me, might interest some people, is pinball. Pinball is in the arcade, pinball machines. Something that had pretty much died out by the end of the 90s, yet has seen quite the rebirth.
Interesting.
And back at the end of 1999, literally they were down to one pinball manufacturer left.
Really? I didn't know that.
And now there are
a
lot.
big resurgence.
Several, yeah.
Interesting.
So it's interesting how that's kind of come around. So if that interests you, maybe we'll talk about that. I've got a lot of good friends and stuff, people we could have come talk about that. Same with roller derby.
Hey.
Get some insight from both players and from the referees from roller derby. Roller derby is an interesting sport because, as far as I know, it may be the only sport where you play offense and defense simultaneously.
Wow. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Think about it this way. It'd be like taking who's playing in the Super Bowl? That's the Chiefs and the I don't know. Who's the other one? Anyway, it's like taking two football teams and giving them each a football. And then saying the first one that can get to the thing scores, just chaos. That's kind of what roller derby's like. So
organized chaos.
Yeah. So if that interests you, let us know. Hit us up. Maybe we'll cover those topics soon.
And if you have a topic that you want us to hear about, or a situation or a story that you want our advice about, or our take on it, please share
our advice.
I mean,
especially if they've watched this full episode.
Advice, or just our riff or whatever off of your situation, whatever may be, real or fake. I don't know. Please share. We want to know.
We like to know.
And you can share any of these topics or anything on the website, that'sokaypodcast.com.
Yes.
Or on Facebook or Instagram at That's Okay Podcast.
Perhaps those will actually get updated.
They are updated.
Oh, good.
He's hating on me all the time. It's like, you need to keep it updated. And hey,
listen, if I post an episode, I expect it to be
it's
updated. Maybe that day or the next day.
It's updated.
Not the day before the new episode comes out.
When was the last time you looked at the website?
Oh, listen, I did see you updated. It was still like a week late.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
It happens. I updated and I added the bonus footage and like new things onto the website.
Ooh.
And you didn't know because you haven't looked.
That bonus footage is like from like 2 months ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago, but I added something different on the website, like a little.
Oh.
Yes.
You found your own clip.
What? No.
For bonus footage.
No, I just put like a.
She hadn't put this much into it, but that's okay.
I am so sick of this right here.
And you know
see
what
I deal with.
That's
I'm about
okay.
to punch him. We're about to fight.
Can't get good help.
Hands.
She wants $15 an hour to do that.
I don't get paid.
She can't even do it. Oh,
It's.
I'll get her participation trophy soon.
I don't need one. I don't need it. I'm just, I just show up apparently.
She's a diva. I set everything up, record everything, edit it. She just shows. She's like the rock star. She's like Axl Rose. I mean, she just rolls in. You have to go. You have to send her through makeup. That takes like 30 minutes.
It's not bad.
Then wardrobe. It's unbelievable.
It's not a big deal.
Her rider, she has to have like a case of water and a pizza
Don't.
when she gets
You're
here.
so full of it. You're such a liar. Such a liar.
Anyway.
I mean, a little bit about me showing up, but I mean, the other stuff is not true.
Yes.
It isn't.
All
I
right.
could have set this stuff up, but all that's yours and it's set up for how you want. What am I going to do? Start doing it? Because you know what he's going to do? Come behind me and put it the way that he likes it. So
Yeah.
why waste my time and his? I mean, come on. I understand. I know.
I've tried that.
He
before.
would, though. You would, wouldn't you? You'd come back like, oh, I need it like this.
Well,
This
yeah,
is how
well,
I-
because certain things get plugged into certain places.
But even if I did it, you'd still be like, checking everything, making sure I did it right.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's
If
okay.
it works, it works.
It's, you know, whatever, no big deal. But at the same time, I already know he's going to do that. So why? You know what? Whatever. He wants to do it. He can do it.
She's not motivated. So
I'm probably.
I excel at
motivated.
it, so she's
If
not.
you want
has
me
no
to
incentive
set
to
everything
tell
up
her.
next time, I will. And
Right.
you can come in and critique and fix whatever you feel I mess up. And there's no hard feelings about
And
it.
that's okay.
And that's okay. I mean, I'm just like, whatever. I'm just, you know, whatever you want to do, man.
Just have her bottle of water and pizza ready.
Bottle of water.
Makeup and
I
wardrobe.
do drink a lot of
Whenever
water.
she rolls in.
And no pizza. I don't eat pizza every time I come over. But we usually film like around dinner time. So
Yeah, we
that's
do.
where he's getting that. You know, whatever.
I'm just a good host.
Yeah. He's a good host.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you were here.
Yeah,
As-
we just
as
rambled on.
As we hash out our own problems. I'm
Woo!
glad you were here to see that.
Yeah. You know, whatever.
Anyway.
Here to see how I'm abused.
Abused.
You know, whatever.
What is this podcast? Oh, that's okay. Thanks again for joining
Oh,
us,
man.
and we will see you next time.
Bye.